Hey everyone, I'm back and I'm here to do a book review for you. This book review was requested to me by Decadent Pages and it is on Shades of Grey by Jasper Fforde. Before I get started with my review, I'll read the synopsis to you. It's summer, it's hot, it's our world, but not as we know it. Entire cities lie buried beneath overgrown fields and forests. Technology from another time litters the landscape and there is evidence of great upheaval. Welcome to Chromatasia, where for as long as anyone can remember, society has been ruled by a coloratocracy. From the underground feed pipes that keep the municipal park green to the healing hues viewed to cure illness to a social hierarchy based upon one's limited color perception, society is dominated by color, and in this world you are what you can see. Eddie Russet wants to move up. He has better than average red perception, and he has on a half promise to Constance Oxblood, whose powerful family want the reddest possible son-in-law to strengthen their hue. But once Eddie and his father relocate to the backwater village of East Carmen, these carefully cultivated plans and expectations are quickly upended. In this new town, Eddie must contend with lethal swans, sneaky yellows, inviolable rules, and an enforced marriage to the hideous Violet de Mauve. But then he encounters the intriguing Grey named Jane, whose bold defiance of the rules makes him realize that the apparent peace of his world is as much an illusion as color itself. As Jane opens Eddie's eyes to the cruel regime that lies behind the gaily painted facade, he realizes that understanding the social order is one thing, but questioning it is quite another. Questions are considered unthinkably rude, and rudeness, along with bad manners, uncouth language, and inadequately shined shoes, leads to one place: permanent relocation, or reboot. Eddie must tread a very fine line between total conformity, accepting the path, partner and career delineated for it by his hue, and instinctive curiosity that only gets him into trouble. In a world of enforced simplification, answers are in short supply, and every question begets another. What was the something that happened? Why does no one ever return from the long-abandoned village of High Saffron? Where did all the spoons go? Is there more to color than just color? Most important, can Eddie ask Jane out for tea in case at the Fallen Man before she has him eaten by a carnivorous plant? Widely known as the ingenious creator of the New York Times best-selling Thursday Next series, Jasper Fforde reaches new creative heights with Shades of Grey. Utterly original, bizarre, entertaining, and thought-provoking, the world and characters in this new work confirm Fforde's place as one of the most brazen and original literary fantasists of our time. It starts out with the main character, Eddie Russet, on a train with his father on their way to East Carmen. They're leaving their old city because Eddie did something bad, so he has to go do a chair census in East Carmen. So they're making him go out there and doing that. Now, in this book, there is a lot of description, which actually, it's not bad in books, but it just dragged this book on. It bored me, really, to be honest. And all the rules that they had, they like talked in numbers sometimes, and it just got me so confused. There's a rule that you can't marry somebody of a complementary color, so red can't marry greens. Do you understand that? Yeah. Like, there's so many rules like that. And then there are, like, spoons, like, they're in limited supply, like, regular spoons. They're in limited supply. I mean, it's a dystopian world, which I thought I was going to like it because of that, and the concept that they can only see certain colors, I thought I was really going to enjoy it, but it turned out I did not enjoy it at all. I gave this book a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I probably would have even gone lower if it wasn't for, like, the little action that they had at the end, which out of like 380 something pages, it took 300 pages for me to enjoy the book. Like, that's not right at all. The book was narrated by Eddie throughout the whole thing, and all he really talked about was Jane this, Jane that, the something that happened, all these rules, blah 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 blah, and it just dragged on. It was such a slow paced book. It took place within 4 days throughout the whole thing. It was just so slow, and I got so annoyed with it, and I never even wanted to pick it up. And it took me 4 months to read this, I think, like close to that. It took me a couple months, and that it never happens to me, never. And it was just so boring. Like, I wasn't even sure I was even gonna pick it up and read it, but I saw it at my Barnes & Noble for only $6 in hardcover, so I'm like, why not? I'll pick it up. And I started reading it. I thought it was okay at first. Fell all the way from there. It didn't even pick up for me until the very end, which is ridiculous. That should never happen in a book. There are so many characters in this book as well that you have to remember, like their colors and what jobs they're doing and how they apply to the story. The only characters I actually remember the name of are Eddie Russet, the main character, and Jane, the Grey, that he begins to fall in love with. And they're not supposed to really mix, but still. That's like the only characters that I remember, and then of course his father, Mr. Russet or whatever. Those are like the only characters I remember. And then there's I think Violet and Constance, and they're not even a big part of it. It's just some of the characters just seem to be there. I mean, I really did not enjoy this book at all. I'm sorry if you did. I know Priscilla from the Readables liked this book. I know she did, but I'm sorry, I just did not like it at all. I would recommend this book to people that can actually handle slow-paced books, because if you can handle it, then this might be the book for you, because it was so slow. And I know Priscilla warned us about the slowness of it, but still, I didn't realize it was going to take I didn't realize it was going to take 300 pages for it to pick up. But yeah, so I would recommend it to only people that can handle slow-paced books. Obviously, I could not handle it, but I forced myself to finish reading it, and I ended up not liking it at all. So, yeah. I know this was a crappy review, guys, but honestly, it was a crappy book, so I don't really care. So, yeah, thanks for watching if you ended up watching this, and happy reading.